I stole one of the plug wires off this thing because I used it for my Miata. So we gotta put one of these crappy JDM speed ones on. Alright, well, good enough. It runs on 7 anyway. Alright, what do you think? Think she'll start right up? I think so. This thing's a ripper. Trooper. She's going. There we go. Got her steering on. I think we got a little bit of a fuel leak. What the hell? Well, that was not on the original agenda for today, but we'll have to address that too. What we are doing today is making the abandoned FC, or trying to make the abandoned FC actually look good. So it's kind of been in this state for a while. We got it running and driving. It's got a stock 5.3, nice clutch, nice suspension stuff. I made the angle kit, and it's a fun little car to drive, but it's just, she's ugly. I mean, especially because it used to have a kit on it, and that's got like rear flares and beat up, and yeah, it needs some love. It really needs some love. So let me show you what we got to put on here. Bring it on around back. Okay, just kidding. I could not figure out what this was first. So I'm looking up here, took a glance, I'm like, the line looks fine, everything looks fine. I drove it up on these ramps. I'm looking underneath, it goes up, up, up. Found the culprit, boys. Simple enough. Should have looked here first. Injector O-ring. Maybe you can see all the fuel down there, but just pouring fuel out of that one injector, which just goes to show you how important it is to have good injector O-rings and replace them and make sure they're good, because that's a lot of fuel to come out of one injector O-ring. So anyway, before we mess with that, I've got a project that's been long on the to-do list. So anyway, now that that's done, I'm gonna bring my light over here and we're gonna fix those injector O-rings and then get this thing off these silly ramps. And then I'll show you guys what this whole video is about to begin with. I promise. But hey, part of it, right? Right? All right, with the rail off, you can see, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but we got a torn O-ring. That would be our problem. I have this Deechworks Master Shop O-ring kit. We just gotta find the right one. First try, boom, boom. So we'll put this on, grease those up, put the rail back on, tighten everything down, and we'll be good. Got it all sorted. Check it out. Still smells like fuel everywhere. Fuel pump on. No more leaks. I think part of the reason it tore the O-ring was these little L brackets were a little loose where they bolt to the rail. So I was able to get those tight, and the rails are a lot tighter now. So sweet. Now we can actually get to the task at hand. The whole reason for this video, the whole reason I have you here, making the FC look good, or trying to. I gotta preface that with trying to, because we really don't know how it's gonna look. It should look better. Should look better. So let me get it off these ramps, and I'll show you what we got for it. So obviously you can already tell what we've got, but we are finally putting a kit on this thing. The no bumpers, no side skirts look is just not ideal, especially because, again, the car has wide body flares and stuff. So I'm really excited about this. Something I've been meaning to do for a while. We're finally getting around to it, trying to make this thing look a little snazzier. So this kit is from KBD. These kits are awesome. This is what I have on my Miata. I've been trying some different stuff for the rear, but side skirts, front bumper. So I've been run into numerous times. Ran into people. My rear bumper, which is still completely intact right up there, literally drags the ground all the way around the track. Like folds under the car coming off the trailer. I mean, that thing has seen so much abuse. It's been hit so many times in the rear. I've had to rebuild my exhaust 3 times. Bumper's still intact. So I am a huge proponent of KBD kits. So basically the reason this is possible is they're made out of a flexible polyurethane style material. So it literally comes in a box, fold it up, you put it outside in the sun, let it heat up and straighten out, and then you've got a kit. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy, but because of that, they're so durable. These things are just absolutely incredibly stout. And for me, for the body kit, I've had fiberglass body kits, I've destroyed them immediately, not even doing anything crazy, just like go up a dip that's too sharp, smash the bumper, destroy it. I will not go back to a fiberglass kit unless it's a car that KBD doesn't make a kit for. Anyway, I could go on and on, but I think KBD kits are the way. I have some friends with Z's and stuff, and they're like, oh, I don't really care that much for the way that kit looks. I like this one a little better. They get that kit, and then they don't even run it at events because they don't want to destroy it. They start breaking it. It's like, well, what's the point in having a kit if you're not going to run it? Like, I'd rather have a kit that I like the looks of a little less, that I can actually run all the time. So all that being said, we need to get it on the car. It's going to be, the front should be okay because we still have the factory front upper bar. The rear, I think we're going to have to make some mounts. And then the side skirts, obviously we'll just drill holes, rib nut, bolt those on. I guess let's start with the front. Before we can fit the front bumper, we got to do something about this fender. This thing is a little F from when I ran into Ben at the compound. Dude, look at that, good as new. Freaking wide body flare and everything. All right, that's about as much as I care to do. We're definitely not actually gonna be able to fix that fender. At least I don't have the skills or the tools to do that. I'm not a bodywork kind of guy, I'm a it looks good enough kind of guy. Do that. Boom, boom. So we've got the resemblance of a bumper bar here. Alright, well I think we got to adjust this first. So as you can maybe tell, the dash bar is bent up. And you can see on the plate why that is. There's only bolts on the top. Oh, that was easy. Just got to do the other side. So we just got to cut the inside corners out of these marker-like pockets. Well, we're close. It's pretty much like dead even with the height of this pocket. Whoever built this dash bar built it for another bumper, obviously. So I got to cut the rest of this pocket out. We should be good. Alright, so for the front, we're going to need a couple of L brackets to go from here to here. Alright, I got the center of the bumper attached with just a couple simple strap pieces. I want to make these out of some thicker aluminum. This stuff's like real thin. But just for fitting it up so I can hold it in place, that will work. Now we need to work on the bumper defender there, and then I'm going to make a strap and do like a bolt and a bolt over here, I think. And she should be relatively secure. Alright, so just a couple simple straps for the bumper to the fender. So we just got to drill the holes for that. Boom, boom. Not going too crazy with this, trying to make it nice. I just want to get the kit on there and it to be on there well, in a sense, in the way that it's not going to come off, because these things will take a beating. There's no reason to have it freaking fall off every time you touch a cone. Alrighty, front bumper is affixed. Looks good. Obviously not the most elegant attaching solutions, but this is like my cheat car. People have cheat days when they eat food. This is my cheat car when it comes to working on cars. Unless it's something mechanical that has to work right, like aesthetically, I'm just like, I'll build a little plate, put some bolts, done. But yeah, anyway, that is the front. Bada boom. Obviously this corner is a little meh. We are gonna have to trim the bumper some for where the tires are gonna go so that I can steer to full lock. But before we do that, we're gonna just start moving our way back. So next up, side skirt. Whenever you're doing rib nuts, while you've got the rib nut tool in, I usually try to get them straight, because sometimes, you know, the sheet metal will be bent a little bit and you have a lot of leverage. So I'll just kind of try to bend it just a little bit to kind of get it where it needs to be. You also want to make sure there's no metal burrs sticking up to prevent the rib nut from going in all the way. So you won't get a good bite. Next one. Voila! Fits good. Let's see if the door still opens. Yeah! Like it's nothing. Take a look at it from the front. It's gonna be hard to see with the light. You'll have to see it when we're done and we back it out. But dude, it looks so much better. So much better. Man, I forgot how much better these cars look with a kit. Ugly side, not ugly side. I am so excited to get the rear on and see what this thing looks like outside. We'll even throw the better fitting wheels on just to get the full effect. But I'm gonna knock out that other side skirt and then we'll move to the rear. Boom, got them both mounted. Looking snazzy. All right, so the first problem on the problems to fix list is the exhaust cutout. It's not quite big enough for this 4-inch tip. If we shifted it over, we could make it work, but that would require redoing the whole exhaust, which I'm not too keen on. So just gotta open her up just a little bit. Alright, we got room for the exhaust now. We've already got these little L brackets here. So basically, the upper lip of the bumper will just slide over that. So that saves us some time on fabbing up something for here. Alright, I've got it up on those under tail light brackets. Just need to make... Oh no, it's coming off. Dang it, don't fall off. Drill and rib nut for back here. Let's get to it. No! Dang it. Dang it. Venture to say this is definitely not the ideal structure to attach to, but don't have much of a choice. Well, I'm pretty much out Allen-headed bolts for now. I'm gonna have to settle for these. Alright, well, now Move on to the other side. A moment of truth. Will it fall when we take the jack out? No, it stayed. Sweet. So I need to get more of the, like these Allen bolts. So I got these online from McMaster Car, big headed bolts for this reason, so it can't rip through. Not that I've really had that issue, but obviously hex bolts are not gonna cut it. I just ran out. I just should have ordered more of them. But anyway, there it is. Yeah, I'm gonna switch to the wider wheels just cause, and then we're gonna back it out of here and see what it looks like. Well, that same stupid injector is leaking again, so I'm gonna have to mess with that, but man, this thing looks so much better. Oh man, that is so much better. That's crazy. It's crazy what a kit will do. I've still got to trim some more for the exhaust. The bumper's kind of pushed out, but man, what a difference that made. FCs just need a kit. It's just pertinent, you know? FC's got to have a kit. All right, well, I'm gonna pull it back in, get back to work. I'm gonna fix this injector and then we're gonna trim the front and then we're gonna go drive it around. All right, so the O-ring I put on was a little too big. So I was like, okay, that's probably the problem. Found the right size O-ring, put that in. Didn't leak at first. I kind of shook the rail just to make sure. Started wanting to spray. So I'm like, there's gotta be something going on in the rail. And I found, you can see it right there. There's a little nick right there. And I think that's keeping the O-ring from sealing. So I'm gonna try to file that little nick down, file that down, put it back together for like 76 time, and we're gonna see if we can stop leaking fuel, because that's important. All right, we got it, boys. We got it. Fuel pump on. Ring. Obviously no fuel leaking. Shake the rail. Still no fuel leaking. We're good. Sweet. Glad that's fixed. All right, now we need to turn our attention to front bumper. So you can see how this has already been cut. I'm assuming for angle. You can see how far the tire sticks out. This angle won't work. So one benefit of having electric power steering. Check this out. Turn the pump on. Oh, it clears. What about the other? Close to clearing. Yeah, it almost clears. We don't have to trim much off. Yep. All right, I'm gonna cut the other side real quick, and then we'll move to the rear bumper. This side should be a little easier because it almost clears as is. All right, now the exhaust clears. Alright, I let it run for a couple minutes just to make sure it wasn't leaking any more fuel and wasn't going to catch fire. Got a spare fire extinguisher. Not gonna fall off, you know? Well, here she is, ladies and gents, boys and girls. Man, what a difference that made. what a freaking massive difference that makes. Like, I don't know, I guess I knew it looked goofy with no bumpers and whatever, but I was like, no, it doesn't look that bad. But seeing it with the kit, you realize just how bad it looked with no kit, especially with no bumpers at all. It just looks so much better now. So much better. The front poke looks manageable, doesn't look so weird and crazy. And I love seeing, you can see like the dirt track wheel peeking through the window with the kit, with the super meaty rear tires. I like these rear wheels and they fit really nice. It looks so much better. So like, it's still a beater drift car. It's got dents and dings and crappy paint, but like, it looks like 100 times better. I am so glad we did this. So glad we did this. Oh man, it looks so good. Okay, it doesn't look, I think it looks good. I like it. For like a beater car, it's like the perfect level of beat up. Bumper cutout setup, so you turn the headlights on and they shine through the bumper. The headlight all the way down is pointing straight through the bumper. So it's cool that KBD offers a setup like this, because they offer it both ways. It's cool. I like this car more and more. Every time I put a little time into it, it's like, makes it just so much better. It's kind of fun in that aspect. You know, and again, it's my cheat car where I'm not going over the top, spending hours over engineering some solution to make something work or make this fit with no bolts, and I don't know. Really, really happy with the outcome. Looks a lot better. So I got this thing back in the shop. I've got a couple tinkery little things to do before we put it back under the cover. Definitely excited to drive it like this, see some pictures and videos from the outside of this thing sliding with a kit on it, because it does look 100 times better. But I really don't know what the future holds for this car. I'm really kind of conflicted on that, because originally my plan was to have this as a Z replacement, have it as like my missile car, my car that I can just thrash and bash and drive at my absolute limit, and then to drive it at fun events and drive the LS Miata at more serious events, competitions, things like that. But what I kind of realized is if I drive this at fun events, then I only drive the LS Miata at competitions. And that happened to me before round 2 of Clutch Kickers. I drove this a couple of times, drove Clutch Kickers in the Miata, didn't get that many laps, I wasn't used to the car anymore. On top of that, the LS Miata is just like a way better car in every way. It's got more power, it's way stouter drivetrain, it's better set up. Like anything and everything has been done to this car, and it's not pretty. You know, I mean, it's beat up. It's seen its fair share of hits and abuse and whatever, so I don't really drive this car much less hard than I drive this car. You know, somewhere like the compound, I drive this harder because I don't care about dropping tires and dragging the frame on the ground and whatever, but as far as in tandem, I push it just as much in this car as I do in this car. So I don't know, in that sense, it kind of serves no purpose, because I'd rather just keep driving the Miata, so I'm always comfortable in it and I'm constantly progressing in it. But if I don't ever drive this, then what's the point in having this? So I don't know, just kind of a moral dilemma I've been going through with this car. We definitely, again, got to drive it with the kit, but I think what I'd really like to do is build a street style drift car, like a car with full interior, AC, all the creature comforts. That way I can enjoy it other than just drifting it. I can go to Mexico and drift it. You know, I could maybe drive it to the track and do an event. It just would open up my options for using the car a lot more than just having another cage track car, dedicated track car. So I don't know, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts, but that is gonna wrap us up for the FC project for today. We're gonna be starting on the Turbo LS truck soon. I've got another project in mind, and we've got more to do to everything. We had a bunch of work to do to the Miata, so I'll see you guys for all of that. But for now, that's gonna be it for this one. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, goodbye.